because Kylia has only 70 points. No, sorry, 50 points, I should say, coming into this game against Malcolm. Malcolm has about, how many is that? About 80? Close to 80 points. Well, Petra's roughly close to 100 points. She's very, very offensive heavy. So we'll see what will happen here. No matter what happens in this game, Petra will once again go into the finals as an underdog. So here's the final game for the semifinals. It'll be Kylia taking on Malcolm. Kylia somehow managing to get herself into this game. Malcolm dominating every single front. Granted, he barely beat Merriweather because Merriweather came back near the end, and the same thing can go for Ash. First round. However, Malcolm has some pretty powerful offensive weapons. For those that are new to the VFTs, Malcolm's got some weapons. And the weapons that he's got are going to be used in this game. Quite a lot, in fact. Quite a lot. Last game for tonight, and it's going to be quite a doozy of a game. But not in the same way that probably not in the same way that we saw in the first game. At least in my opinion. Exactly like the last game that Malcolm was a part in, this one looks to be maybe a little different considering there's going to be some weather involved. Interesting to say the least. Because, well, Malcolm just seems to always have these games taking place in wet conditions. I don't know why. Kylia taking on Malcolm here. In the rain, which the last time we saw Malcolm in the field, it was also in rain. Curious to see if Malcolm's team can handle these conditions better. Because he got the experience of being in the wet, whereas Kylia, not so much. Kylia hasn't really been experienced in the rain, at least heading into today. Over the offensive powerhouse of Malcolm Bell. We won't see that as of this moment because Kylia will come out first in this matchup. Put that on hold for now. But still an offensive powerhouse no matter what you think of Kylia, as Kylia's got Brett Favre, Fred Taylor, Randy Moss. Lots of names. And we'll see them come out first. Curious to see how we will find the finals. It'll be Nichi Sanji taking on NITRE or Amber Glow. Curious how that's going to work out. We'll find out though. Kylia will start with the ball. Favre, give to Fred Taylor. Yes, and he'll gain a good amount of yards there. Almost mixed up the names there again of the running backs because I keep thinking of Davis for some reason. Oh, why? I don't know why. That run play to start things off was a gain of 6. Shotgun pass for Favre. He's looking for the first down, and he got it. Molds with the catch. I'll talk about stats here later on in this game because, like I said in the pregame before starting the game off and starting the semifinals rounds off, I should say, I have a lot of stats I want to talk about, and I'm going to read the same stats off here for these two teams because it's quite the opposite of Takeshi and Petra. He's coming into this game. Favre to pass. Pressure coming. Sacked. Losing the ball, actually. And Malcolm's going to start. A lot quicker than I expected. However, Kylia's thinking otherwise. Is Favre down? Moo, that's close. I couldn't tell from that angle, but that looks very close. That could be a difference maker if that is called back. Did he lose the ball?
The ruling on the field has been overturned.
He did not lose the ball.
Team was down before the fumble occurred. No timeout will be charged to the deep end.
Smart eye there, I assume. Still going to be a long third down for the offense. Second down, I should say. More than likely will be a third down here. Unless Favre heaves one down the field, which is possible. And he does. And he, no, almost had his man. He almost had his man. That would have been pretty big. That was Torrey Holt on the intended receiver there. It's third down. Let's talk real quick stats. Coming into today, Kylia has the worst third down conversion percentage with 45. Almost said 46, but it's 45. I want to be exact. 3rd and 16, that's not going to work out in their favor. So, Malcolm will get the ball after a stalled drive by Kylia. I did expect this kind of a start. I should say, expect this kind of a start from Kylia because of the fact that, again, weather is going to be a big factor in this game. Weather always is a big factor in these games, whether it's cold, windy, a mixture of those two, or you add in the rain. Let's talk Malcolm's offense real quick. We got David Garrard at quarterback, real good quarterback, and then you got Antoine Smith and Sean Alexander, 2 amazing running backs. Probably the best running backs in the entire league, and we'll probably see some of their talents on unfold here today. Probably not on that first play, as that was barely a gain of 1 on that play. In terms of yards here, Malcolm mostly gets his yards from the rushing. Out of the 928, to be exact, total yards coming into the game, as they are just short of the first down marker there, only 400 of them are from the passing. Granted, when I'm talking about the total yards, that also counts special teams, but you could still get a grasp at how much the rushing really means to Malcolm here. Kylia, who comes into the game with 800, still has about 500 total passing yards. So, even her, with Fred Taylor, struggles with, the rushing. But not with Malcolm. Now they get a 3 and out here to start this drive off, so both teams will trade 3 and outs. Now I did expect this game to be quite tight, just like the last game, but low scoring, unlike the last game. Although when I say that, I expect the same score, if not maybe just a little lower than that, because of the fact that both teams were in the 20s at the final score between Petra and Takeshi. I was expecting they would be in the 40s, but yeah, Favre will give to Taylor, batted down at the line of scrimmage, behind I should say. Both these defenses are coming into today as hot defenses. So it's no surprise to me at this moment that I'm seeing both teams struggle very much as of this moment. That could change. That could change as the game rolls on. But at the same time, I am not too sure what to expect heading forward. Toss to Taylor. And he'll gain something, but not a lot. So another 3rd down here for Kylia. Third and 7 coming up. Bringing, I think that's Molds in motion. No. That was not an emotion. There's somebody else. Shotgun pass. He's got a man. He's got a first down. Chad Lewis being an absolute Chad there. Getting a first down. Big pass play there by Favre. Big pass play there for Kylia. Speaking of first downs, I flipped too far. Shit. Speaking of first downs, Kylia's coming into this game with 32 first downs. Malcolm only 25. This is a bit surprising, to be honest. Ooh, pass over left. He's got it. Big pass play there. Big pass play. Holt with the catch. And that's the first time we see somebody get into enemy territory. They're at the 26-yard line. They're at Malcolm's 26-yard line. Good start to the game so far for Kylia. She's been the only team so far to get a first down at least. Fred Taylor on the carry. Lots of space. Hole up the middle. What's the penalty? That's going to be called back, isn't it? Ooh. Oh.
Number 72. Offense. Loss of 10 yards.
Remember, I said this at the end of the Petra and Takeshi game that Kylia's team, not just the offense, the team as a whole, is coming into today with 5 total penalties, which is tied for the most out of the 4 teams. Make that their 6th. Oh, and make an interception in the books, too. Favre usually doesn't pass interceptions like that. But Edwards made sure that Favre was not going to be innocent today. Well, Malcolm has a chance to rewrite that 3 and out that they started the game off with. Both teams so far, the complete opposite start than what the last game was. The last game, the first 3 offensive drives, I think, were a touchdown, interception, touchdown. So far, I've seen a 3 and out, a 4th down, and now an interception traded by the first 3 drives. Things are looking mighty bleak right now for both offenses. Both defenses are really taking a hard stand here. 4 more yards for a first down. Malcolm, it's not, again, it's like Malcolm doesn't have a lot of first downs under his name, but it's not because his offense struggles. Because again, he's got a lot of points under his name. He'll get a first down here with that carry from Smith. Malcolm heading into this game has 34.5 points per game, which is 10 less from Petra. Oh my God, what a bat. That was a violent batted down pass. So that's 2nd down now. Get a first down here, and you'll be right near Kylia territory. That is if you get exactly 10 yards. Ooh, they get stopped short. Be 3rd and short once more. Malcolm on 3rd down conversions, not much better than Kylia. I said 45% for Kylia. Malcolm's at 47%. Both teams are more of a flip of the coin than Takeshi, but even then, not the good flip of the coin. 3rd and 2, no, go for the run, they go for the pass, and Bruce gets it, and makes 2 people bounce off of him. We have our first scoring opportunity of the day, and it comes halfway through the first quarter. I say first opportunity, but give it barely at the 39-yard line. It's not really field goal range, especially in the rain. 5:30 and ticking left in the first quarter. Ooh, Antoine Smith trying to get something out of nothing and gets nothing. There were 3 tacklers right there trying to stop him, and they got him. Just at the line of scrimmage, if they're that generous. That would have been big had that first tackler actually got him. Gerard to pass, looking, got it, and I think that's enough for the first down. We're moving the chains, so make that a yes. That was Joe Horn, if I remember correctly, on the catch. Yes. I had to double check. So now well in field goal range now for Malcolm. Let's see if that momentum continues into 3 points. Possibly more than that. But that's a possibility. Back to Smith. Outruns one defender, stiff arms another, and gets about 3 yards on that one. Not a lot. Yeah, Antoine Smith, I said this before, was one of the better running backs that I've seen. But I didn't realize he would be this well stopped when you put him up against a defense like Kylia's. 4 minutes left in the first quarter. Gerard to give to Smith, who will get another 3, maybe, on that play. So third and long, I should say, coming up. They don't convert here, they could still have a chance to take the lead. I think this game is going to be more of a defensive stalemate than anything else. Here comes pressure. Oh, a catch, and a big catch there. First down for Malcolm, and this time it's inside the red zone, just outside the 10-yard line. That was Isaac Bruce on the catch. And he is one of the better receivers that we've seen in the whole tournament so far. At least today, he's been pretty decent. Give it to Smith once more. Breaks one tackle. Breaks out to the right side and dives for the 6 points. There you go. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Smith can get you those points, which that's what Malcolm's been getting the entire time. Let's look at some stats here real quick as we get the extra point going up. I want you to hear this statistic that I'm about to read out and tell me if you were surprised at all. This is what I mean when I'm talking about Smith here. 11-yard run on that one to get a touchdown. Malcolm heading into this game, not counting what we just witnessed, 6 rushing touchdowns. Petra, 3. Kylia and Takeshi, 1. Make that number 7 for Malcolm. You are really, really doing yourself a favor having a runner like Antoine Smith and Sean Alexander on your team. They may not be the best running backs when trying to get big yards, but when you are inside the 30-yard line, inside the 20-yard line in the red zone, you can rely on them a lot more than you think. Fred Taylor with a carry, spin moves, and tries to get something out of a jumble of players. Gets about a couple out of that. A couple yards short of first down. Second and 4 here. Malcolm had a great drive there, so let's see if Kylia can have a better one. Favre looking for Taylor. He's got it. A little bit of space and gets a nice little run after catch kind of play there. Down at the 43-yard line, I think. Give it a 43, 44-yard line. And I didn't really think the combination between Brett Favre and Fred Taylor would be a real good combination. But it does have a ring to it, does it not? It does have a nice little ring to it, at least in my eyes. I don't know. Favre looking to pass. He's got, I think that's Chad Lewis. He's got a lot there. Wow. Down to the 25. And going back to the combination between Brett Favre, Fred Taylor. I mean, Fred Taylor was a monster of a player. Wasn't he not? It's like a dream combination there between those two players. Especially at quarterback, running back. And you also got Randy Moss in the background too, just waiting. Chad Lewis, though, with that last catch. That was a great pass. He's looking for a receiver. He's got it. Holt with another carry. Moss has not been targeted, I don't think, at all today, which is a bit surprising. I mean, we may start seeing him around the next few plays, especially getting into the red zone. 2 yards separates a third down and a first down for Kylia. They need to score here, 3 or 7. Give it back to Taylor, who will break one. Oh, he's got space. Oh, my God. 3 broken tackles down to the 3-yard line. That was a great run. Oh, my God. What a play. Fred Taylor, let me tell you, man's insane. Battle of the great running backs. Let me tell you, these two have great running backs. The running game's going to be great today. I can already tell. Give it a... Oh. It was Corey Dillon on the carry that time, and he gained about a yard or two. They're going to be well short. 1.5 yards for 6 points. Second down here. You could do one more run play, but I would also experiment with the pass. Do one of each kind of play. If giving it to Dillon doesn't work because he's in the backfield right now, give it to... Yeah, he'll lose about a yard or two. Give it to Favre and let his arms do the work this time. That's what I say. End of the first quarter, Malcolm's up by 7, although Kylia is right at the doorstep to possibly tie the game back up at 7. Gonna be curious to see what they call here on this 3rd and 2. Fred Taylor in the backfield. Do they call for a pass play? Do they try to go for a run? Curious to see. What do they call? Toss to Taylor. A little bit of space. Lots of space. Touchdown. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. And especially with that big block from the tight end to bring the defender down. Fred Taylor found the open space. Just no one in the sight. He got it. The toss play the last time beforehand didn't work because there was bodies all over that from the defense coming to Corey Dillon. Not that time around. That was a good play. Good play there by Fred Taylor. Good play, good drive, I should say, by Kylia. And we're back at 7 apiece. We're back tied. It will come down to a couple costly mistakes. It always does, especially near the end of every game. I think it's more so going to come down to which offense can stall out. Stall out first. But at the same time, though, I've seen everything in this game from both offense and defensive standpoints. Turnovers, stall outs. I don't know. The momentum here is shifting quite rapidly between these two teams, which is nice. Nice breath of fresh air, kind of. Gerard to pass, over the middle, intercepted. Both teams trade interceptions. And Kylie is instantaneously in a range to go up by 3 at least. So both teams trade a very costly interception in the early going of the game. Is to be expected, especially in the rain. Hard to see some of these players, especially Kylia's defensive players. They're wearing the same green that is almost on the turf. Fred Taylor with a carry. Oh, I think this may get called back, and it's going to be a touchdown, but it's going to get called back. Wow. I I've seen costly penalties, but that is the first penalty that's actually costed a team points on the board. That would have been a one-play drive with Fred Taylor bursting all the way to the end zone for a touchdown. But instead, it's 1st and 17. That's insane. Nice catch there. Now remember that Petra had 2 total penalties in the game against Takeshi not too long ago. Kylia is already on track to passing her again for the most penalties. It would be kind of ironic if we find out that those two are going up against each other in the finals. The two most not so disciplined teams going up against each other. Screen pass, that failed. That screen pass actually worked. I think if that was caught, that would have been big because everybody on the defense was getting fooled by that screen pass. It did not look like any defenders were in the range. I think that was Taylor on the screen there. I think. Uh-oh, here comes Farm getting sacked again. That's the second of today. Another big stop there by the defense. And that's what the defense needed. The defense needed to push them back. And they did. Granted, Wilkins is going to come out and possibly kick Kylia into the lead. And that looks good. Oh, no! It hit off the uprights. So Kylia cannot capitalize on the interception. Good mercy. That's insane. Because those are rare. Missed field goals are so rare. Oh, God, nearly picked off again. Yeah, Malcolm needs to capitalize. He needs to, considering that is the closest you're ever going to get to not having anybody score in that range. That's kind of gotten me a little. That's gotten me some. I'm questioning whether or not these kickers are going to be able to kick some game-winning field goals. Smith with a carry, no gain. Wow. So now a 3rd and long coming up. Back to pass. Dumps over the left. He's got a man. That was Joe Horn once more. And that's a 1st down inside Kylia territory. Good pass play there by David Garrard. Right back to pass, looking. Oh, nearly picked off. Woo-hoo-hoo. See, this game is really, really close, although it doesn't seem like it. The reason why I say that is because, yes, it is very close in the points. But it also seems like both teams here, especially on defense, can make this game very one-sided. Because both defenses are really doing their best here. Which is good. Because I've seen a lot of offensive, dominating kind of games. Where it's every drive feels like the defense can't do anything. But a lot of defenses that I've seen today, even though they slip up every once in a while, they kind of got that little moment where they can shine. You know what I mean? Big pass play there. Horn with a catch, and he'll run for a 1st down and some more. Winfield injured for the 2nd time this game. Good Lord, he's injury prone. I usually don't mention the injury players because they are really quick with them unless they are really big name players. Because 9 times out of 10, they'll just come back later on. Antoine Smith, run up the middle, run past the 1st down marker and inside the 10. That was a big run there. 35 yards for Smith, 1 touchdown. Technically, Fred Taylor would be better than him technically if that that one run play worked. That was all the way from where they were to start Kylia's last offensive drive for a touchdown that got called back. That would have been bigger than what Bell had to go through earlier. But give it back to Smith. Little bit of space. No. Lose a yard. And they're just inside the 10. I think they'll be backed up just behind it after that last run. I think. No, they're still at it. I'm going to expect maybe 1 or 2 pass plays to come here. They do like to rely on Smith and Alexander here quite a lot, but I'm not too sure if they're going to rely on them all of these times here. They'll give it to Smith once more, who will get about 5, and I think more. Yes, he will with that face mask call. Kylia, even on defense, not having a very good time being disciplined. Because instead of it being 3rd and 6, it's now 1st and 3. Malcolm's going to make Kylia pay for missing that field goal. Do they give it back to Smith? They did it the last time to some success. Oh, nothing there. That was Alexander, though, on the carry. So maybe a different result will happen if Smith is back out onto the field. But I think it's still... Was it an Alexander? I can't tell. I can't tell from this angle if it's still Alexander or Smith in the backfield. Smith, touchdown. That's the difference between those 2 running backs. That is not only the 2nd rushing touchdown of today for Malcolm, but that puts him 8 on the tournament. Definitely way more than Petra, who was 2nd. Both touchdowns today scored by the running attack. Actually, all 3 touchdowns today have been scored with the rush. Fred Taylor scoring for Kylia. Antoine Smith scoring for Malcolm Bell. Malcolm's looking strong so far. So far in the early going, it looks to be Nichi Sanji taking on Amber Glow for the championship, which would be very, very interesting to say the least. Just saying. However, things could change. Oh, what a big play there. 25-yard line is where that ball is going to be placed at. Last time out, Kylia drove down the field after the interception, but missed the field goal. And that missed field goal is why she is down 7 points. Bring the tight end in motion. What do they do to start this drive? They can do pretty much whatever. They'll give it to Taylor. Gets about 5. A little bit more than 5. Yep, you can tell right there in the stats. Both running backs for the teams have been the MVPs today. Literally, if those touchdowns were at 0, we'd still be at 0-0. Favre to pass. Pressure coming. Ooh, triple coverage. 3rd and short. What do they call for here? Do they call for another run? The passing defense has been stellar. It's just the running defense that's got me just a tad bit worried. Or at least not worried, but just like that's the one area I'm like, yeah, as a coach, I'd be worried about. Yep, 4th down, 3 and out for Kylia. As a coach, the passing defense is stellar. Okay? That's what I've noticed with both Malcolm and Kylia's defenses. It's just when they start using the rushing attack that it's a bit hairy. Fair catch called, and that'll be at the 35. Back them up 10 yards for that holding call.
Holding number 24.
It's easy to remember these penalty stats because it's kind of funny how, like, I talked about this before before the stream. I talked about how both games have a team coming in with the most penalties and a game with the least amount of penalties, and it doesn't look like that stat's really holding up at all because Malcolm only has like one or two penalties coming into today. Gerard with a run. Wow. Didn't expect Gerard to have such legs. Gained a lot on that one. Both teams coming into today have the same amount of penalties as the two teams that I talked about earlier, which was Petra and Takeshi. Kylia coming in with 5, Malcolm with only 1. Kylia, though, going to overtake Petra in the penalties by the end of this game. Smith. I don't believe this man. This man isn't human. Touchdown. Smith. This man is not human. 3 touchdowns today for Malcolm. All of them come from that not human of a... My God. How does this man... No, I can't even call him a man. How does this machine do this? My God. I swear that man's the best running... Now do you guys understand why I say Smith is the best running back in all of the VFT? 72 yards, but not even that. Just the fact that he completely dismantled the entire defense. Made them look like chumps in that one play. That just looked insane to call. At first, it was just like, oh, he'll gain maybe a couple yards on that play. No, he just ran it all in. Boom, see ya, bye, touchdown. Jesus. Wow. Last 2 drives for Malcolm have been stellar drives, cashing in on the misfortune of Kylia's offense. The missed field goal, the 3 and out by Kylia's offense, they're down 14 points in the second quarter. Malcolm's already looking better than what Petra was putting on in the game against Takeshi. Taylor with a carry, no gain. 117 rushing yards. I read this stat off earlier, and I want you to remember this stat watching at home. That Malcolm's offense, total yards, while it's close to 1,000, a lot of it's coming from the rushing attack. That pass is out of bounds, so that falls incomplete. It is insane. I read this before with the total yards. Malcolm's coming into today with only 930 total yards, which doesn't sound too little, but compared to Petra, who has over 1,000, that's quite a lot. And Kylia once again goes 3 and outs. So we'll see what Malcolm can do here. Maybe rack up the score again. But anyways, Petra with 1,300 yards coming into today. Obviously, that's about close to 2,000 now after her matchup against Takeshi. Malcolm has 930 coming into today, but again, only 415 come from the passing, which doesn't sound too big, or like that sounds like, you know, normal. But comparing that to everyone else who really relies on the passing game, it's a lot different. This team is different. That screen pass absolutely failed. But anyways, like I said, so let me give off the other 3 as examples. Okay. So heading into today, of course, Petra with 1,300 total yards. 580 of those from the passing game. Okay. Takeshi with almost 1,000 as well. 561 from the passing game. Okay. Kylia, 800 total yards, 500 in the passing game. That's roughly 300 yards rushing. Malcolm has 930 yards, not counting this game, of course, as of this moment, because I cannot do math at the exact point. 3 and out for Malcolm's team, by the way. Kind of saw that coming too, not going to lie. Malcolm coming into today with 930 total yards, but only 413 of those yards come from David Garrard and his arm. His strong arm. That means roughly, I say roughly because of course special teams does come into play here with all the kickoff return yards and stuff like that, roughly being about like 60 or so, 60 or 70 every game. So give about 100 or so. The rushing is around, I can't remember the exact, because I didn't write this down. I think the rushing yards is around 400 yards as well. The ratio between passing yards and rushing yards for Malcolm, way closer than the other 3 teams heading into today. Just saying, I love reading statistics. I love breaking down stuff. I like being able to sit back and be all like, this team can do this, this, and this, and plot out their strategy. My God, do I love watching games where these strategies unfold in front of my very eyes. It's the most incredible thing as a commentator to witness. You also got to realize as well, like, I don't know what the passing stats have been so far for Malcolm, and I'm about to, well, we will find out shortly here once we get into the third quarter. I'm telling you, the rushing attack has been really good. Fred Taylor with a broken tackle there. Can't get much more than that, though. It's always fun bringing up these statistics and talking about them because I always think about... This is weird for me to say. I always think about numbers. I love numbers. I love looking at statistics and stuff like that, especially in sports. Taylor with the carry, first down, broken tackle, jukes, spins, falls. I thought we were going to have another amazing running play, but instead we don't. That could have been sweet, though. 2-minute warning. This game, okay, I will say this. I mentioned how the score was pretty close. No, it's becoming... This is bigger than the score that we had in the other semifinal game. At least at this moment. Far of the pass. Short. And falls short. But I'm really enjoying this game so far because of the fact that everything that's going on, it's been different compared to the last few games that I've commentated. Every time Malcolm's team comes out onto the field, I don't know why, I feel like this team does something different. Their strategy seems to be different. Their play calling seems to be working a lot better than all the other teams. I don't understand why, but yes, it's working out for them, and Malcolm right now is in great contention to get back into the finals. Or not back into the finals, but close. 4th down there for Kylia, and she's in field goal range, so she can bring out the field goal unit and try to bring up the score down to 11 points. Curious to see how the second half goes for this offense, though, because a lot of times teams change up their strategies, their play calls, and a lot of times results change within the span of the half. Wilkins to kick again, and he kicks this one good. He was not good earlier in the game, which costed Kylia the lead as Malcolm drove down the field and scored a touchdown then. That didn't happen. I assume the score probably would have still been 21 in Malcolm's favor, but it would have been 13, I believe. 13-10. Or no, 13-21, I should say, right now. But it's not. And Malcolm will get the ball to start the second half. We have a chance to really go ham on Kylia here in the next couple minutes. I will say this, though, as much credit and praise as I give the running attack for Malcolm, there is some moments where it just does not work. It is very inconsistent from what I've seen. it can work, but it also cannot work. You catch what I'm saying? It's not very likely that we'll see a lot of the rushing in the second half, especially with Malcolm having a nice little lead, because that's what they did in the second half at the Merriweather game. They didn't really want to rely on the rushing attack because even though it worked, it also didn't, and sometimes costed them. About a minute and a half left in the second quarter. Gerard back to pass. Sharp over the middle and just cannot hang on for the catch. That is no surprise with the weather that catching is going to be a bit of a problem. Now I will say this though, it is hard for me to judge how well these teams' passing games, I should say, would be, considering we're in rainy conditions and the ball likes to slip out of everybody's hands. So I can understand why the rushing game has been strong by not only Malcolm, but it goes as far as to Merriweather, who Malcolm had to beat in the second round, and it goes even to Kylia, who is even struggling in that aspect. They're relying on it more because they have to, because the passing game hasn't been very strong. But Kylia will get a chance to maybe get the score deficit, I should say, back down again, as they'll start in Malcolm territory at Malcolm's 46-yard line. Shotgun for Favre. He's got a man. No, he doesn't. He almost did, though. He was well covered. But again, with the rain, I do think that's playing a factor in how a lot of these passes have been dropped. You don't see a lot of dropped passes. I mean, we do see, we saw them in the game against Takeshi and Petra. But they were mainly dropped because of the hits the receivers received. Oh! Then you get passes like that, tipped and intercepted. So never mind, Kylia will not score on a really good punt return. Instead, give the ball back to Malcolm with a minute left in the quarter. But I'm saying this right now, the weather is definitely a big factor into why the passing game has been quite sad. I'm seeing a lot of the passes really have to rely on the run after catch. If they're short passes at first, the receivers make up for it by trying to dash down the field. Because again, with how slippery the field is and how slippery the gloves are going to be with the wetness of the rain, because water is wet, you're obviously not going to be able to catch a ball very easily unless it's dumped short to you. Again, though, it is very, very likely that the weather for the finals will not be this way, unless Malcolm, for some reason, is the home team. I don't understand it either, but yes. Pass play there, another first down. 2 turnovers for Kylia, 1 from Malcolm. I mean, both teams coming into today were very turnover heavy. Like, they love to give each other the ball. And not in a good way whatsoever if you are on the offensive side of either team. Back to pass, short of the first down marker, but like I said, you're going to see a lot less deep passes and a lot more short passes, short dumps, and the receivers having to rely on the, as I will call it, the RAC, the run after catch, the rack yards, because you can't really dump it off very deep if you like that, because even the receivers cannot hang on to the ball. You see a pass go more than 15 yards, chances are it's not going to be caught. And if it is caught, that's a spectacular catch, just saying. Like, that'll be in the highlight reel, I guess. 3rd and 2 coming up. Malcolm's in field goal range, I think. Gerard with the run on the scramble, and he does get the first down, but he is injured. Did I write down? I did not. Who the hell is Malcolm's backup quarterback? That's right, it's Donovan McFucking-Nab. Why did I forget that? Heh. And they're just going to send out the field goal unit anyway. That's kind of surprising, but it works. Or does it? Yes, it does. $14 points separate these two teams. Malcolm will get the ball back to start the second half, so... But I'm not going to say anything because the last time I said they're just going to run the clock out and blah, 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 blah. Malcolm dashed it all the way to the end zone. Kind of similar to what we saw earlier in this game. Although this is Kylia getting the ball, that's probably going to not happen. 12 seconds left. Very interesting kind of game here. Malcolm's been in this situation before, though, with the game in Merriweather being very close until the second half started, and then it started getting... Well, actually, no, sorry. The game between those two was very similar to how it is right now, except as soon as the second half started, things started to look bleak for Malcolm. That could be the case here. We'll find out. Second half about to be underway with Kylia down 14 points. Rainy conditions playing a huge factor into how teams are playing this game. Or at least I think it is. Let's look at the stats here real quick. Passing yards, 117, 123. Rushing yards, Malcolm only has 3. Malcolm only has 3 more passing yards compared to the rushing. That is not normal for a team in the VFTs. That is not normal. You usually see the passing numbers just be like almost doubled. Malcolm just has a very strong rushing attack that is also very inconsistent. David Gerard, who was injured on that last offensive drive, he's fine. Like I said, a lot of the injuries that happen, they'll be gone for a few plays, maybe a drive at worst, but I don't think I've ever seen a massive injury in this game. Gerard dumps short. He's got a man. Like I said, you're going to find a lot of short dump-offs. They try to pass more than 10, 15 yards, and you are not only risking a turnover, but you're risking just the ball just falling right to the ground, even if the receiver has a chance to catch it. The rain's not letting up, and I don't think it's going to let up at all this game, which is not very rare. Smith with a carry, and again, the inconsistency of these two. I should say the inconsistency of the rushing attack, I should say. It is a flip of a 3-sided coin, whether or not it's going to work, or if it's going to work really well, or if it's going to work just enough. Try to pass, short, he has it. Got a man, and that is a first down. I would say I'm surprised that they didn't give it to Smith, but I think it was Alexander in the backfield. Plus, I think that was Joe Horn on the catch, and Joe Horn and Isaac Bruce are two really reliable wide receivers in this lineup. Back to pass, over the middle, big catch there. Joe Horn once again on the reception, down at the 42. They're getting back into field goal range, which would up the score at least to 17 if they only get a field goal here. With 10 minutes left and counting in the third. Kylia really starting to despise this clock, I'm assuming. They'll give it back to Smith. He'll get a hole up the middle and get 8 on that run play. I'm going to go more in depth on these statistics here, and I'm going to go like gonna dive deep, and I'm going to go mentally insane trying to like find time to talk about all these stats. I really have like no time to talk about a lot of these stats that I even have written down. Surprised I think I've gotten all of them spoken at this moment. Gerard back to Smith. No, he'll lose 2 on that one. He's very, very, very inconsistent in the running game so far. Don't get me wrong, Smith has been incredible, but he only has like maybe 1 or 2 amazing plays, and then he has like those kinds of plays where it's like, oh, that happened. 3rd and short. Just like that. They went back to the running game, and it just did not work. So another 4th down here, and they are right in the middle of the field, so Akers has a good chance of making this field goal. He made one for 51 earlier. This one just about the same length. Straight down the middle, too. Kick is up, and it is banging through. 50 yards. That field goal for Akers, and Malcolm is up by 17 now. Good start to the second half here from Malcolm. He scores on his first drive out. Let's see if Kylia can repeat the same. She needs to if she wants to stay in this game, because she has not been able to get the score down less than double digits ever since she lost the lead completely. A little bit of a good run back there, down to the 30-yard line, back 20 yards on that return. Suzumi, hello to you. Good morning. Actually, it is morning, kind of, here. It's late. I think it's afternoon for you. I'm not too sure. Barf back to pass. He's going deep. Oh, that was actually caught. Holy crap. That was Randy Moss's first catch. It was 5 p.m. there. Good Lord. Big pass play there. That's what Kylia needed, and she's right in scoring range. Instantaneously. Barb the pass. Deep over the right. Nope, left. Sorry. My bad. I appreciate all the lurkers and stuff like that, especially in this kind of stream. Moss was the intended receiver there on that play. Tried to go for 2 big plays in a row. Let's see what they call here. 2nd 10. Ooh, that was close. Had a wide open man over the middle, but Trotter was able to swat down that pass. Even if Kylia does not get this 3rd down conversion, which, what did I say it was earlier? 45% chance that she does. Even if she doesn't, she could bring down the score down to 14 again. 3rd and 10. Hydrate right after this play. Barf just overthrew the receiver. 4th down. Stretch, bust, check, hydrate, all the... the good 3 things. Wilkins coming back out to kick. He missed one earlier in the game. He made another one early. Let's see if he makes this one. This one a little closer than the one that he missed. And this one is good. Barely, but good. That one was also 50 yards. So both teams trade a 50-yard field goal to start the second half. 13-27 now for this game. Winner of this game meeting Petra in the finals of this tournament. So far, if Malcolm wins this, I give Malcolm a lot of credit if he somehow survives Petra. Because my God, as Petra, I don't know if there's a team out there other than Malcolm that could possibly stop Petra and her insane team, both offensive and defensively. But considering the fact, I do say it's because of the fact that this weather is really playing a factor in how these teams are playing, both passing and rushing. Both teams cannot rely so much on the passing game. They have to really go for the run games, which doesn't work a lot. They're both very inconsistent. Alexander. Not much there. Actually, that was Smith on the carry. I thought that was Alexander for a second. My bad. It's hard for me to tell when they do the substitutions and stuff like that. The only time I can is when it's too late. Gerard, short pass. Oh, I would say short, but that was a little deep. Still incomplete, though. So now 3rd down. Again, if this rain wasn't much of a thing, I would assume that these two teams would be like going ballsy with all of their with all their passing and stuff like that. I believe it would be more of a passing game if it was nice and clear, but instead it's rainy. So 3rd and 6. And Malcolm, not much better at converting 3rd downs. Kylia with 45%, Malcolm 47%. Oh, but that was a big pass there. Past midfield. And that was, I believe, is that Bruce? I think that was Bruce on the catch. No, it wasn't. I think that was the backup tight end that caught that pass. I don't have that one written down. And now into Kylia territory once again. Not often do we not see Malcolm stops behind the 50. Give it back to Smith, who spins but gets 1. I do think that at some point Malcolm is going to start running down the clock, especially because he is up by a lot. 2 touchdowns as of this moment. If he gets another 3 points here, he'll be up by 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Smith with a, oh my God. That was a dirty spin move there. Too bad it didn't amount to much. Maybe a 1-yard gain, 2 yards, if that. 3rd and 7 coming up. Shotgun for Gerard. He'll call pass. Is it successful? Pumps once. Sharp over the middle. Nope. 4th down. Malcolm stalls out just inside Kylia territory, but he is not in a range to score, especially in this weather. What Kylia needs is something that she hasn't been able to get since the 1st quarter, which is 7 points. Touchdown. And it's going to have to come starting pinned back behind the 20. Or roughly close. Nope. Just inside the 20. So they're good. They don't need to do anything desperate. Try and gain anything, but they're at their own 23, so they still need to go about 77 yards. Get back in this game at least. They start with a run to Taylor. Gets about 3. I mean, both running backs. I don't know what to say about Fred Taylor. I mean, like, he's been really decent. Very average at that. Comparing him to Smith, who has those 2 touchdowns. Actually, 3 touchdowns, I should say. For Malcolm, it's kind of a different story. Big catch there. Moss again with another big reception there. Just behind midfield. But a good catch. I'm telling you, Kylia is trying to make this passing game work. And when I say the passing game, I mean like the deep passing game. She's trying to make this work even in the rainy conditions. Toss to Taylor. He cannot get the block, but I think he'll get the face mask call to help him out, and he does. And that puts Kylia back into scoring range with that penalty, putting her at the 37. Big penalty there. Which, again, going back to penalties, Malcolm came into this with only 1 penalty called in the entire tournament, which, considering we've had a ton of football time, a ton of plays, I'm really surprised that there were 2 teams out of the 4 teams starting today that only had 1 penalty. Well, Takeshi, who was eliminated earlier today, and Mal only had 1 penalty coming into today. I think Mal has 3 penalties. I could be wrong. 2 or 3 penalties called on him. Kylia came into this one tied with Petra for the most penalties, and she's going to come out of this with the most. Big catch there. Fred Taylor on the catch. He's starting to try and turn up something for the receiving end, which is good. Another fresh set of downs for Kylia. What she needs, though, is 7. Granted, she has a lot of time still. 3.5 in the third and all 12 still remaining in the fourth to try and get something going. Hard to pass. It's going to look. Got Holt in the left side of the field for a short gain there. Kylia's really working the right side of the field, though, making 117 yards out of that side of the ball, or side of the field, I should say. Clock ticking, under 3 minutes. Ball inside Malcolm's 20-yard line inside the red zone. Kylia's been really good inside the red zone all tournament long. Can that streak continue? Oh, not there. Down at the 21. Big loss there. Yeah, because here's the thing. I'll say this once more. The fact that Malcolm only has 3 passing touchdowns, 6 rushing touchdowns coming into today just shows how rushing heavy they are. End zone caught, touchdown. Randy Moss wide open in the left corner. That was a big pass play there by Brett Favre to Randy Moss. Great pass play there. And that puts Kylia just 1 point away from bringing the score back down to 7. Under 10-point deficit for the first time since she lost the lead. Good drive there, 20 yards, Favre to Moss, beautiful. But anyways, back to what I was saying earlier. Coming into today, Kylia, 4 passing touchdowns, Malcolm 3. Rushing touchdowns, Malcolm 6, Kylia 1. Obviously, those numbers are going to change as this game rolls on, as Malcolm has, I believe, now 9 rushing touchdowns with the 3 that he's got today. Good return there out to the 32-yard line. I think there was a run back of about 25. Malcolm really relies on the rushing game. So if there is a defense out there that really thrives on rushing, it would probably be Petra's defense. Not allowing much in the rushing game so far in any of her games. A lot of her opposition comes from the passing game, which Malcolm doesn't really seem to trust all that much. But granted, two out of the 3 games that Malcolm has played so far have all been in rainy conditions. I'm not too certain if things would be different if they were all in clear. But yeah, a big pass play there. After the big loss on the first down run, they get about all of it back with a fullback pass play. I don't know how that worked, but it did. Coming into today, Malcolm had 25 total first downs, Kylia 32. Both of them are trading a lot of first downs, especially here in the late going as Malcolm's trying to run down some of the clock to try and bring it back into his favor. Back to Smith. He gets about 1 or 2 on that one. 129 yards for Smith. The big one, though, being the 3 touchdowns. Really, I'm just saying this right now, but like Malcolm's really only in this game again because of the fact that Antoine Smith can just be sometimes inhuman. like we saw earlier. Give to Smith. He will, again, not gain anything. There's some parts of me that just doesn't understand how this man can sometimes be so good. Especially like in the last few run plays where he just gets stopped immediately at the line, if not gains maybe a couple, but not more than that. It surprises me. It does. But then again, like some of the stuff that he does, not a lot of running backs can do. The face mask call on Kylia's defense, so that'll bring Malcolm up to the 37 in scoring range once again. I think the clock will still continue to run, I think. I'm not too sure. If it does, then it'll be in the fourth quarter where we will continue this drive. I'm not too sure. Yeah, it's still running. Okay. We may have one more play if they barely get this play off. Although they may just run it to the fourth. But I'm not too sure what they'll do here. They'll quickly run it off. Smith with a screen, and even on screen passes, Smith cannot get much more than the line of scrimmage. It's still a tight game, though, all things considered. 7 points, 1 touchdown for Kylia. She could be back in this game completely. I rave about Antoine Smith all day, but like the more I watch him, it's like he has his moments, but mostly he's very inconsistent. He's more of a red zone rusher than anything else I've seen. Give it to Alexander, who won't gain much on that one. I think that was Mike Vrabel on the tackle there, if I remember correctly. So 3rd and 4 coming up. Again, Malcolm's in scoring range, so even if he can't convert this 4-yard play, you could possibly be up by 10 points. Again. Dump short. Horn with a lot of space. Touchdown. Blown coverage. Blown coverage of the defense. Sometimes I should just not speak when talking about 3rd down conversions. Because my God, that was incredibly surprising to me. Probably didn't sound like it, but man, I was not expecting Horn to find a hole that big to just... That is what? Hold on. That is Malcolm's 4th passing touchdown in this entire tournament. The first up today. All 3 touchdowns beforehand were from Antoine Smith. And again, Kylia's deficit is 14 points. Malcolm's really trying to send a message to Petra. Especially because in the 3rd round, Malcolm has now outscored Petra. Oh, what a big hit. Kylia's going to be backed up even more because of the holding call. And I think the player that tackled the special teams player is also injured.
That's a 10-yard penalty.
Yep. So pin back behind the 20-yard line, and then even farther back at the 13-yard line. We're going to have to go pretty far to get back in this game. And again, they're going to try and do something that is not very easy to do in the rain, which is try to pass deep. We've seen interceptions already today. We've seen fumbles. Actually, have we actually? Well, we saw one that was called back. So technically, no. But we've seen a lot of turnovers today. Not just in this game, but also in the last game. 2nd and 10. Dump short. He's got a first down. Some breathing space there. Randy Moss with the catch. Moss has been... I talked about how Moss was not being targeted so much during the first part of the game. Now he's like the only target that Favre is throwing to at this point. Him and Holt. The only 2 I can think of that have been targeted quite a lot by number 4. Especially since Moss is the one that also caught that touchdown I think the last or the second to last drive. Favre going, ooh, I was going to say deep again to Moss. Good stop there by the defense. 3rd and long coming up here. 2nd, dang it. I keep thinking it's 2nd down whenever they throw, and then it's like, nope, it's 3rd down. No, it's 2nd. Crap. I don't know how many times I've confused 3rd down with 2nd down. Back to pass. Goes deep once more. Oh, this time it's caught. Down at the 49, so a gain of 29 on that one. Nearly 30 yards on that pass completion. Now, this is a good start for Kylia's offense, but she really cannot sacrifice any loss of downs or times. Let's make every play count. Pass there. Oh, big open space. Big open space. Oh, breaks 2. Big first down. Big first down there. That was nice. That was a great play. That was Lewis, once again, Chad Lewis being an absolute Chad of a tight end. Making one tackler miss and breaking one. Oh, pressure. Oh, Randy Moss. How the hell did he catch that? That pass should have been incomplete, but I don't know how Moss was able to catch it. That was a gain of 7, which usually I would say that was bad play. But no, considering the situation, that was the best case scenario for that kind of play. Lucky that was intercepted, fumbled, sacked, all the bad stuff. Oh, halt! Touchdown. Through 2 defenders. Hurdling over 1. My God, what a sequence. What a drive. That was perfect. I don't think there was a mistake really at all on that entire offense. They all just came out and they just dismantled the defense. Now the score is down by 7 once more. 25 yards that pass play was. That was a good drive. Especially those last 2 plays. They all could have been disaster. But they were all best case scenarios in all aspects. The hit as he threw kind of pass play that should have been incomplete, could have been intercepted, ended in a 7-yard gain, and then the very next play, a 25-yard dime of a pass for a touchdown. All of that starting from behind the 15-yard line. That's not easy. That's not easy to do, no matter who you are. Especially in the short amount of time, too. You get your defense off the field as quick as you possibly can. Bring your offense back out. Garrard back to pass. Short dump off. Good start here for, I want to say, the offense because they got a good yard. Good gain there, but at the same time, good for the defense because it was a good stop. Only 3 yard of a pickup there. And they need to get them off the field as quick as they possibly can if they want to, of course, get back in this game. Give it to Antoine Smith, breaks 1 tackle, and I think that's a face mask call. Kylia's really, really choking this game away with all these face mask calls against her. That would have been a big 3rd down coming up for Malcolm, but instead it's a fresh set of downs just outside midfield. Like I said, you need to get your defense back out onto the field as quickly as you possibly can. And allowing face mask calls like that to allow a fresh set of downs, that doesn't really work. Smith with a carry, another medium to short gain. 144 yards rushing. Now the numbers looking pretty normal for rushing versus passing. Granted, it's because the rushing game has failed to come alive in the second half. It's all been very short gains, if that. 2nd and 5 coming up. They're going to run down the clock just a tad bit. Smith with a carry, a little bit of space. Stiff arms, 1st down, bit more. Jukes still got on his feet and down at the 35. 30, actually. Got another good play there by Smith. One of a very few that I can think of at the top of my head, other than 3 touchdowns earlier in the game. Into scoring range now. That face mask call really starting to hurt Kylia once again. Seven and a half minutes, big toss. Oh, big stop. That was Alexander on the carry there. What a stop. And you get one more, I don't want to say one more. You get a couple big stops like that. You can push them outside field goal range or push them past their limits for their kicker and possibly make a costly mistake by them. 2nd and 12 now. Again, give it to Alexander, who will gain about 4 on that one. 65 rushing yards for Kylia, 168 for Malcolm. A whole 103-yard difference. That is the length of a football field. 3rd and 7, and this is a big 3rd down here for Kylia. Defense needs to stop him here. No mistakes. Needs to stop. I'm going to run down the clock. Give it again to Alexander. Or no, give it to Smith, but big stop. They did it. Now, even though they stopped them, they're probably going to give up a field goal here, which would put the lead back double digits. Or the deficit, I should say, double digits. But if Kylia can have at least a couple more drives like she just had, offensive drives, she could have a chance to bring this game back into her favor. Kick is up, and it is good. Akers perfect so far today. 46 yards on that field goal. Score is now 10 points in favor of Malcolm. Let's see if Kylia will be able to keep the momentum on her side offensively. Ooh, nice run back there. I think that was out the 31-yard line, I believe. I think so. 69 plays for Malcolm's offense. Nice. 55 for Kylia. Five minutes, 45 seconds left in the game. Favre to pass. He's going deep once more. He's got it. Big play there. Big play. Big first down. Down the field they go once more. I think they got past midfield. They are just past it if they are. Yeah, they're not in range to get 3 yet. They need one more play like that, and they will be. Not a question. Favre passing. Looking. Pressure. Maybe little. Deep pass over left. Oh, overthrew. That would have been big. That would have been big. Man was wide open too. Like, I don't know how contested it would have been if he actually held onto the ball. If the ball was actually in his grasp, I should say. But that would have been big if that was caught. A 2-play drive like that is not something you see often, but shh, we almost did see it. We'll see what they do here. 2nd and 10. Passing. Once more. Pressure coming. Over the middle. Caught. Holtz with a catch inside the 20. Another fresh set of downs here. This time inside the 20. Turnovers aside, if they don't give away the ball back to Malcolm, which they have done in the past, they can bring the score back down even closer. Favre, once again, passing, looking for a receiver. He's got it. No, he doesn't. But they will get a face mask on Malcolm's defense. And I think, oh my God, is that Chad that's injured? Oh my God, Lewis is injured, and he's been a real top player for Kylia's offense. And I'm telling you, you lose a tight end, especially a very big caliber tight end like Chad Lewis, you are definitely going to need to rely on something different here. But then again, you are stacked with Holt, Randy Moss, you got a couple other options. Fred Taylor with a carry, loss of 2. So it'll be 3rd and short. Actually, 3rd and long. It would have been 3rd and short had they got back to the line of scrimmage, but now it's 3rd and 8. I expect to pass, especially since it has worked completely in the favor of Kylia this entire drive. Looking no different. End zone! No. Hit, but the ball jarred loose because of the hit. Actually, it was caught. Then the hit jarred it loose. That's what I was supposed to say. Then the field goal unit out, make the score 7 of a deficit with 4:30 left in the game. It's getting tight. It's getting very tight. Makes it. Telling you, if Wilkins did not miss that field goal earlier in the game, this would be much closer. Instead of 7 points, it would have been down by 4 points, which would have been absolutely insane. 4:25 left in the game. Kylia's defense couldn't stop them the last time Malcolm's offense came out. They need to do it. They need to do it. They gave up a face mask call that probably would have been a big 3rd down kind of play. Malcolm's offense coming out here once again, struggling on all cylinders except maybe a play or two that goes their way, which is all they need. If they're in the lead, just need a few plays going their way, and they'll be able to run down the clock and put pressure on Kylia. Give it to Smith, who's been struggling all day with the exception of a couple big plays. Defense needs a couple of those kinds of stops right there. Minimal gains, no penalty mistakes. They cannot repeat another scoring drive. Give once again to Smith, who gets out to the right. He breaks one, but cannot break it for 1st down. He'll be stopped about a yard. Give it a couple. Short. They are going to try and run down the clock a little bit, and they are going to do these kinds of run plays because all you need is 4 yards. And even though Smith's been pretty inconsistent, he has been able to get 4 yards every once in a while. Just not this time. 3 and out for Malcolm. Perfect defensive drive. A perfect defensive drive. Kylia is literally one more touchdown drive away from tying this game back up. So last time this game was tied, it was 7-7. We have not had a tie game, at least after it hits double digits in this game. Big return here. Looks like it. 37-yard line's where they're going to start. Good starting field position as long as they commit to the passing game and they do not make any mistakes in the passing, they'll be fine. Comes down to this, probably the final offensive drive for Kylia. Give it to Fred Taylor, who will start this drive off, gaining a couple. Not much, but a couple. They need to get a couple 1st downs here, and they got some time to spare. Back to Taylor once more. Spin moves. Gets another couple on that one. But it's going to bring up 3rd and short. They cannot give up a 3 and out, or else they are completely screwed. Like, they need to get 3 yards here. At their own 45-yard line, they are not in any good range whatsoever. Short pass, incomplete, 3 and out. They're going to give the ball back to Malcolm. They need one more of those kinds of defensive drives, and they will have time to do it. The 2-minute warning, 3 timeouts. You just don't give up a 1st down or 2, and you'll be fine. They're going for it on 4th down. Okay, this is ballsy. You fail this, you're giving Malcolm great field position. I think he got it. No, he lost it. Oh my God, Fred Taylor lost the ball. Oh my God, he had it. And he lost the ball. Wow.
There will be a review of the play.
Now this one's even more bigger than the last one. Oh, I don't think he was down. I don't think he was down this time. I think this one's not coming back in Kylia's favor. Nope, there's no way. There is no way this is coming back. If this comes back, I'll be amazed.
The ruling on the field stands.
I thought so.
There was a fumble on the play. The visiting team will be charged a timeout.
Couldn't get lucky that time, Kylia. 2 fumbles, one of them called back as a sack. The other one, that might have costed them the game. Wow. Give it to Smith. They're going to do all they can to stop him. But, I mean, where they are at right now, they give up 1 first down. Not only are they putting them in field goal range, but at this point, you are really not getting anything out of this game anymore. You really just shot yourself in the foot with that fumble. Two minutes left. Couple timeouts for Kylia, but she's going to have to stop Smith from going 5 yards. They get him down to 4, I believe. So it'll be 3rd and 4. But the problem is, as well, is once again, because of that fumble happening right at midfield, you pretty much gave them a good shot at a field goal here. Big run. 4th down, just shy. They gained all they literally could except for an inch or two. Where they are at right now, they'll be able to kick a field goal to end the game, essentially. Be up by 10 points. Should be a touchdown, which would be more than 1 drive in less than a minute. Kylia would need to have a miracle to not only get it once, but twice. And they're going to run down the clock till about 1:15 or so. Kylia will get the ball back with just over a minute. Score is 30-40. I think the best that Kylia is going to get is maybe 33-40, if not 37-40. But she is not going to get any more. She's not going to close the gap at all. Fred Taylor's fumble completely screwed them over. Boots it off. Minute and 9 seconds left. You know they're going to go deep, and you know they're going to try and possibly force passes that should not be forced. Because they need to go down the field. They need to drive. They need to drive more than 75 yards. Not once, but possibly twice. Moss with a catch, but barely anything there. Plus it's running down the clock. 2nd and 1. Barb looking. Incomplete. That stops the clock with 50 seconds. Third and 1. Incomplete. They'll definitely go for it here on 4th down. The last time they did, they had it converted until Mr. Fred Taylor decided to slip up the ball. That pretty much cost, again, I think that costed them the game completely. 4th and 1. Screen pass. And it works. First down. And more. Granted, that really puts Kylia in a pretty good spot at the 45-yard line. They still need a couple yards to gain in such a short time. They spike it. 20 seconds left. 22 seconds left, I should say. They still need a couple yards to gain, and I would think with how much time they got left, how little time left I should say, we're probably going to get about 10 yards, try a field goal, and try an onside kick. That's what I'm going to assume is going to happen. I mean, you really got nothing to lose here trying to go and get 7 points when you could just get a couple. 80 seconds left. Maybe try 1 or 2 shots in the end zone, but try not to force anything too crazy. We'll see what they do here. High snap. Enough time to look in the end zone. End zone picked off. Game's over. 30-40 is the final score. Malcolm Bell, Amber Glow will be taking on Petra from Nichi Sanji. NITRE had 2 chances to make it into the finals. Lost both of them. Wow. Not much more to say other than the fact that that is quite the tournament so far. Very different from how I anticipated things to go. But with that, that ends all of the eliminating games per se. I mean, we technically still have one more to go, which is the finals. Which is technically an elimination game, but also at the same time it's not, because the way I see it, the finals is a championship game. Antoine Smith, somehow the player of the game. I say somehow because, yeah, that's quite... Yeah. I don't know. The finals, they're going to be pretty tight. Tightly contested by the looks of things. I don't know what to expect. Malcolm's got a chance to win this. I assume. We look at the stats here real quick before ending the stream off. Very offensively tight comparing the two. 468 total offensive yards, 425 for Malcolm. Total yards in general, 651 compared to 553. There was just a few things that could have gone differently for Kylia that would have been perfect for her, especially in the last few drives. But so be the case. So be the case. Malcolm Bell taking on Petra. Amber Glow taking on Nichi Sanji in the finals. 2 teams that have possibly the highest amount of points heading into the final game. Petra once again going in as the underdog. However, the last 3 games that Petra's gone in as the underdog, she has won all of them. So before we end off the stream, let's talk about how these 2 teams came about. Petra beating Pikami in a very close game, 34-27. Second round, Petra defeats Fujikura pretty dominantly in a high-scoring game, 55-48. The highest scoring game in all of the VFT. And then just earlier tonight, defeating Takeshi in a very defensive-heavy game, 29-22. And that's how she ends up in the finals. Malcolm. High scoring throughout the entire tournament, but also very close at the same time because of the weather. Beating Ash 35-45 in the first round, then defeating Merriweather barely by 5 points, 19-24, and then just moments ago, beating Kylia 10 points, 30-40. 2 out of the 3 games that Malcolm has competed in, he's won by 10 points. The other one was 5 points. That's kind of close. kind of cutting it very, very close. Okay. Finals will be taking place here, I believe if I said so correctly, on my schedule, Tuesday. No, Wednesday, actually. That's right. Wednesday. And they will have 15-minute quarters, a full football games quarter, which is 3 extra minutes from what we had to deal with tonight. Let's see. Yeah. I'm just going to end the stream off here. I'll be back technically later tonight because it is Monday right now for me. But I'll be back later tonight. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will be back. Have a good night.